Well, kind of crazy to believe, but the time has come to honor our 10 seniors graduating. So, just one minute. We're going to embarrass them one at a time. All right, well, this is a lot of seniors, and it's been really cool to know these guys since 6th grade. This is a really, really strong class and full of really talented, kind, hardworking, special people. So I'm going to introduce them and tell you their future plans. First up is Leighton Albright. Leighton is, he's kind, he works hard all the time. He's been my TA all year, so he comes down to the middle school almost every day and helps set chairs and make a lot of copies and do a lot of stuff for 5th grade. And he's hardworking, he's got a lot of integrity. He always tries his best to do the right thing. He's going to attend CU Denver in the fall to study the recording arts, so we're really excited for that. Next is Joe Altmaier. Joe is uniquely herself and always lights up the room that she's in ever since I've known her in 6th grade. Just a great smile that I think is infectious to everyone else, and yeah, works hard really well. This year she has been working hard on bass guitar, so after 7 years of playing clarinet, said, I'd like to try bass for this last concert, so she's been rocking the bass and super proud. So she's going to attend Colorado Mountain College in the fall and go on eventually to pursue a career in music education. Zoe Burns. Zoe is kind, she's caring. Even just today, after our last rehearsal ended at 3:30, she stayed for another 10-15 minutes to make sure that one of the members of her section knew his part and was ready for this. She's hilarious and well-rounded. She's a ballerina, a musician, she's studious, and a rock climber on top of all that. So really cool. She's going to attend the Colorado State University and study microbiology with the intent of eventually pursuing the doctorate of veterinary medicine. So. Dane Elliott. Dane has a unique brand of humor. Sounds like some of you have been blessed with his brand of humor. And I think one of my best memories of Dane is when we worked on, in the Street Horns, we played a song called Brooklyn. We played it quite a bit, and like one of the first times we played it, all the way back when we used to do Joy of Music at Grace Church, Dane stepped right up to do, I don't think he'd ever played much of a solo before that, like an improvised solo, and just every time nailed it like out of the park, this awesome solo on Brooklyn. And we're really proud of him, and he's going on to CU Denver to study 3D design and animation. Anthony Jewell. Anthony is, well, I mean, I feel like this is a common theme, but Anthony's totally Anthony. He's himself, and he's super proud of it. He's got such a great big personality that again, lights up the room. And he has come such a long way musically from when we started working together in 6th grade. You guys heard him play the solo on Snake Charmer, and it's just done such a great job. Flute is not easy, and he's worked hard, so we're really proud of him too. He's going to go to Colorado Northwestern Community College and study aviation technology. Next up is Brian Hoya, aka Hoya. Brian is determined, really respectful, super kind, and I think one of the coolest things is Brian was not in band for the last, was it 4 years? 3 years? He was in middle school all the way, and then scheduling stuff just didn't work out in high school, and he said, I want to take band again my senior year. So he's back as a senior year after not playing since 8th grade. And that says something. That's a big thing. Hoya is attending Colorado Mesa University to study mechanical engineering. Next up, Joseph Lloyd. Joseph is self-motivated. You guys heard him play piano if you're a Joy Music, and all of our salsa music, Joseph played piano for all of it. And Joseph's 100% self-taught pianist. So he's done all that on his own work, which is really, really cool. And he is also just super kind and respectful, and curious about music and self-motivated. Maybe I said that already. And of 10 years teaching total, Joseph holds the record for the best piece of student artwork I've ever received. This has been hanging in my office for 7 years. It is a pink unicorn, under a rainbow, vomiting more rainbow, and it says, wishing you a magical day. Christian Narby, aka Narby. Narby's hilarious. So when I started here, I had only taught high school before, and I thought I only had the intention of teaching high school or older. He came to Basalt and started teaching 5th and 6th grade. These guys were all in 6th grade, and if there was one person who made me question that decision the most, it's probably Narby. But Christian's come such a long, long way, and he's a super positive leader for the rest of the band, and just an upstanding young man. And he's going on to Colorado State University to study fish, wildlife, and conservation, biology, and zoology. Emily Northrop. Emily is super determined, super self-motivated, curious about music, compassionate, like you wouldn't believe, and a strong leader for everybody. She is speaking again about 6th grade. Emily is someone who, as a musician, has pushed me always to be a better director. She's always like, can you do harder music? I think we're moving too slow. I think we need to... That was 6th grade, not much has changed, and it's really good. It's really, really good. So Emily is just an amazing musician. Vocally, she plays clarinet. She's also a dynamite cellist, too. So she's going to Brigham Young University in Utah to study music education. Last but not least, Nat Sinsek. Seems to be on wax paper. Nat's really dedicated. She's a really strong athlete. She is so dedicated that this year, her senior year, when she was taking an athletic training course at the high school that was only offered at the same time as band, she wanted to work it out, so she's been splitting her time. She goes sometimes to band, sometimes to her athletic training class, back and forth to make sure she's doing both. Awesome sense of deadpan humor, much appreciated. And she's going to Castleton University in Vermont to study athletic training. So I couldn't be more proud to send, as a band program or a band family, for us to send these 10 young men and women out into the big world to go do awesome things. So we're going to pass the mic down and see if they have anything they want to say.
Guess I'm started. So I guess first of all I want to thank Mr. Lenio for always, just always being there for us and creating this little band family, and then of course the rest of the band for being part of that family. My section, because they always make me laugh, especially Noah. And then parents for always supporting me, grandparents, and my sister for giving me a role model to follow. She stuck with band also, so that was really inspiring. And then everyone that just comes to support band. Everyone that comes to support band, we couldn't do it without you. And then I guess I'll share my favorite band memory. It was probably, we were in middle school and we would always sneak into Mr. Lenio's office and steal his candy. And then just, I guess, any wisdom for younger students, band students in particular, just stick with it. It's really, really worthwhile to stay in band and have this family for all 4 years of high school. Thank you.
I would like to thank Mr. Lenio and Mr. Medina this year. It's been really great working with him, and I'd like to thank my parents and my great-grandmother who bought me my clarinet when I was starting out and made it possible for me to do this. And I'm really looking forward to keeping music a part of my life and being like Mr. Lenio and sharing what I know with others. And I guess I would give the same advice as Matt and say stick with music. It's a really rewarding, part of your life.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, these guys, Mr. Lenio, these guys, you guys. Thank you. That man. Piece of advice is just do it. It's very easy. I took my instrument home like 2 times. Just do it, it's really fun. My favorite band memory was when Nils was being really annoying and I told him to shut up, he said no, and I said I was going to step thumb tag. And then I did. And then he started crying because he had fear of needles. And then we started walking on stage. That was pretty brutal, but pretty great.
Man, I've been in band since 5th grade, so I would like to thank my parents for sticking me in there. Kind of pointing me towards something that I didn't know I would be super passionate about at the time. Obviously, thank you to Mr. Lenio and Mr. Medina. Mr. Lenio has been a huge inspiration to me and everybody with his advice in music and sagely advice, of life advice. I guess my advice to the younger generation would be to practice your instrument. Bring it home.
Mr. Lenio and Mr. Medina for teaching me to be a great trumpet player. all you people, for the audience. One of the greatest things I'll always remember was when I went with the 8th grade to the Las Vegas trip. It was a great experience there, and yeah.
So I'd like to thank Mr. Lenio and Mr. Medina and my family for just helping me throughout playing the flute throughout the year. And my best band memory would probably have to be during New Orleans and just like getting into a different culture, and that whole band trip was just amazing. And my advice would just be stick with the instrument you like. As you can tell, I'm the only guy flute player for the past, since 5th grade. All 8 years I've been the only guy flute player. So yeah, that's been fun.
I would like to thank my family for being super supportive of me being in band, my section for being the best section, and Mr. Lenio for being an amazing band director, and in fact, a Grammy-nominated amazing band director. My advice to them is to stay in band. Who knows, you might see the full rise and leaving of your band director and get to know them well and just really have them leave an impact on your life.
First, I want to thank my parents for coming to every single band concert except this one. My mom's out there, my dad's in Alaska, so that's fun. I'd also like to thank Mr. Lenio for just dealing with us for the past 8 years. That's almost a decade. Just from the 6th grade insanity of just trying to read his candy door every day and just creating a song totally about his doom, you know, just that 6th grade insanity, all the way up to the New Orleans band trip, and even yesterday just practicing band. Advice. Stick with it. Some of my best memories are from band, and even though it might get dull at times, it's still one of the best classes you can take.
Hey everybody, let's see. This is, can y'all hear me? I don't know, I can't hear me. Although that's this is my first concert with my hearing aids. And I just want to say you guys sound absolutely wonderful. I really owe basically everything to Lenio. This was the only class I stayed in all throughout high school, and I had to kind of leave for mental health reasons. But this is the only class I completely stayed in because I just love band so much. He let me, as I said, switch from clarinet, which I've been playing for 7 years, to bass guitar. And man, that's the best because I met one of my the best friend I've ever had in the bass section. We have little matching pins that say bass buddy. And we just for any 5th grader, maybe an 8th grader having scheduling issues, or a 5th grader kind of losing hope or something. Really, band is hard a lot sometimes, but it's so worth it just to be up here on your last concert and just, I don't know, have that 8 years of family around you. It's real great.
So, first of all, I'd like to thank my parents and Lenio and the band boosters for being such a great community and really enabling us as musicians and allowing us to have such an awesome opportunity to connect with each other and to learn about music in a way that I think really enriches the lives of a lot of our students. And so, one of my favorite memories from band was it's sometime in middle school, I don't recall exactly when. We were practicing band, and we were lagging so much and so consistently that Mr. Lenio broke a pair of drumsticks and nearly took off the head of one of his students. It was a crazy experience, and I think one of the most lighthearted moments that we've had in band. But I think that band, for me, has been one of the key experiences because it, I think, helped me develop my love for music, and I think that that's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And if I had one piece of advice to any younger students, it would be that band is something that at times is fun and at times is not. And it's really important to understand that sometimes good things don't seem like good things or seem boring, but it's important that you stick with it and really work hard, because the amount that you can get out if you work hard is just so incredible that I think it's something that everybody should experience.
In long-standing BHS tradition, we have some gifts for Mr. Lenio. I'd first like to call Alex, actually. Alex has been helping with percussion since last year, and he's definitely helped us improve our section a lot. Whether it's helping us with our music or covering parts that we can't cover, he's just always been there to help us out. So thank you, Alex.
And then we'd like to call up Mr. Medina, our artist year fellow this year. We're so incredibly grateful for all that he's done with us, helping us learn salsa music, and it's been a great time, and we're really, really glad that you've gotten to work with him this year.
And of course, man, myth, the legend. I actually didn't get to share my best band experiences. Has to do with Mr. Lenio over here. I don't know if it actually technically counts as band, but end of the 8th grade honor band, which if you guys don't know, Mr. Lenio takes a bus out of town. Yeah, it's a bus driver tagging onto the. Anyways, I was a part of that, and we probably got home about 10 o'clock at night, and my phone had died. My parents were out of town, so my sister was supposed to pick me up and take me home. Everybody else went home, they all got picked up, and by now I was reaching probably 10:45, 11 o'clock, and he stayed with me, helped me charge my phone in his car. When the calls I made to my sister didn't actually go through, then he took me in his car and drove me back home. I think that it was just a super big connection between us that we had. He talked to me about music stuff in the car, and I was still pretty new in band, and that was the first time I really saw like how much he cares about students individually, enough to take like probably 2 hours out of his night just to wait with me and make sure I got home safe. So if that says anything about our band director who's put so much into this program, I would like to give him a gift. Do you?
Thank you guys.
Yeah, Lenio!
To hand them their awards. So, Band Boosters, which you've heard a lot about, know about, award scholarships to students who stay in band from 5th grade all the way to 12th grade. That 8-year commitment is really, really something special. To stick with something for 8 years when there are so many things pulling you from that, saying do other things, maybe give it up, maybe try something else, whatever. It takes commitment, and that's really important. So the Band Boosters tonight are awarding $5,000 worth of scholarships. That's I know we just took a break to talk about things, but I kind of went back and forth as to whether I should say anything personally or not tonight, because a lot of you probably know that there's going to be a shift next year. I'm going to be part-time at Basalt, and we're going to be hiring a new director to be a new full-time director who will do 7th, 8th high school, some music electives at the middle school, and I'll still be teaching 5th grade and 6th grade, and we're hoping to bring on the funding to add an advanced, a small advanced, possibly jazz-oriented group at the high school. And it's been a really hard decision, and I'm eternally grateful for my time here at Basalt. Not that it's ending, but shifting a little bit. And I just wanted to quickly say some gratitudes I had. I was just thinking about what would I even say if I did, is it appropriate? But we're just going to go for it, and the word that kept coming up was being grateful. So I'm super grateful to teach in this school, in this community. I'm from Pennsylvania and always wanted to move to Colorado for some reason, and happened to land right here with all of y'all. And it's that's a beautiful thing that I don't know, it's led me to my wife. It's like my whole life I kind of hang on that. Super grateful to this year's juniors and seniors who are 5th graders and 6th graders when I started, and stayed with me as I gained my legs as a middle school teacher, as we kind of talked about already. Can't believe how many students we have in music here at Basalt. For a small rural school with 400 to 500 students in the middle school and high school, between the band program you saw tonight and the choir program you're going to see Thursday night at their concert, it's insane. Like, you can't go anywhere else in a small school like ours and find a music program like that. So the fact that the community and the students have fully embraced that is really, really amazing. Grateful to all the band directors who came here before me, Mrs. Joan Nabb, Katie Wilchin, Rob Merritt, just to name a few, who really got this all going. The Band Boosters, Band Booster parents, if any of you guys have done anything, come to a meeting, just helped out, brought a crock pot of food for pre-concert dinner. You know, the program we have would not exist without the support of the Band Boosters. And for all of you to be here tonight says so much. So I know, you know, concerts go a little long sometimes. I know students practicing at home can be, you know, up and down in terms of how that sounds, and sometimes it's a challenge to get students to bring their instruments home, but your support as parents and family members of students in their music, it's coming from a band kid, grown up, I guess, coming from a grown-up band kid, that means the world and it sticks with you. So even if kids don't show it in the moment, you being here and watching and telling them great job tonight and every other time means the world. And on that note, I have to embarrass and thank my parents, my mom and dad, for sitting here. I told them that this would be maybe the last time that I, was at the helm of this entire ship here, which is quite a ship. They got tickets to fly out from Pennsylvania, and it's a quick trip, but they made it for the concert. And they supported me playing music from when I got my first trombone in 5th grade, and said I wanted a guitar, and all through band, and they pushed me to practice, even if I didn't want to practice all the time, because believe it or not, I make my life music and I don't want to practice all the time. So students and parents like know that that's okay. They drove me to lessons, they went to honor bands all over the state of Pennsylvania and followed me around. And even supported me so much so that when my friends and I formed a punk rock band and our de facto center was their garage, they were okay with it and supported it and told me we sounded great. I've heard the CD recently. It's okay. Yeah, like neither one of them played much music, but they always did their best. Like my dad, to embarrass maybe, my dad is a sort of a child of the 60s, of the 70s. He always like re-listened to Led Zeppelin, Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, all that stuff. And he taught me about like what good, genuine, honest music was. So much so that like as a kid, my room was Jimi Hendrix posters. I found old projects in my house when I was home that were like poetry projects from 8th grade, and it was like poems about John Lennon and peace. That came from my dad teaching me, like I said, good, genuine, honest music. And a quick memory from my mom. I had auditioned for a district honor band, and at our honor bands you had to audition again to go to the next level. The song we were playing it's called Irish Tune from County Derry. It's the song with Danny Boy. And my mom played a little piano, but she certainly didn't play trombone. And I remember practicing in my room the song over and over. And one night my mom kind of like poking her head in the room. I could tell she'd been thinking about it for a while. And she poked in her head in the room just to, she couldn't tell me that like my high G was a little flat. That second position needed to be in a little bit. But she was just like, do you know what this song's about? Like, do you know what the words are? And wanted to make sure I knew like what it was supposed to feel like. And I probably was a 10th grader at the time, and was like, Catholic room mom. I don't know. I don't remember, she might not even remember that, but it was just like, those things stuck with me so much, so I'm telling them thank you, and also telling all of you that those things really mean a lot. And so, just also want to thank my beautiful wife, Kristen, who drove through the craziness on I-70 to get here from Denver today, and supported me when I come home at night, a little rattled sometimes, and even was brave enough to jump on a couple of buses and go to the airport to New Orleans with 130 of the Basalt Band family. And many of us know how that turned out. So I'm just, just super grateful for the opportunity to teach these students and all the students that have come through here for the last however 7 years, and super hopeful for the future. And I just want to say thank you so much. So I'm sorry to take time to speak, but I really want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share music. So thank you.